Welcome back, my fellow Earth Angels. Thank you for joining me for another lesson. Today's lesson is about humbling ourselves. Man, oh man, this is a big topic. This is a very big topic. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I have my phone here with some notes for talking points because being humble is such a big topic. It's so heavy. There's so many layers. And I feel like we hear that all the time. Like, what does it even mean to be humble? So my understanding of being humble will kind of be explained through some of the examples I'll walk through. But just generally, I feel like being humble is essentially dying to yourself. Being humble is where you can choose ego and pride. You're choosing the opposite direction. That's really my understanding. It's essentially, if you think you're up here, even if you really do have it going on, even if you really are that confident, you just bring yourself down here and remember that Jesus washed feet. So who are you? Okay? So let's get into a few things. So what does humility look like as you're walking in life? That looks like being patient. It is so hard to be patient with people. I struggle with this immensely. Like, I need the Lord's help. It's very hard to be patient sometimes. I find I struggle with this the most when I feel like people are just being ignorant. Like, I have no patience for ignorance. I have no patience for people not using common sense. But it's like, I ask questions that would allude to that same thing myself. So why am I not patient with other people while they try to figure things out, or why they come to me to figure things out, or they want to talk something through with me? You'll have to forgive me. I'm wearing my pajamas and my bonnet because I thought it felt very appropriate for me to come to this video talking about being humble in a very humble appearance. I'm getting ready to go to bed. I got my bonnet on. I got my pajamas on. I am buttered up. My family likes to call me a glazed donut because I moisturize. I do not go to bed dry. I am moisturized, okay? But I feel like this is a very humbling appearance, which gives me the authority to deliver this message. Like, I don't think I'm above anyone. I really don't. I'm very much struggling with things I'm going to talk about in this video. But self-awareness is the first step, and then you can start practicing. You can't practice something you're not aware of. So I'm giving you the steps, I'm reminding myself of the steps, and let's go ahead and continue. So yeah, responding with patience. People are challenging. People are very challenging. And especially people that are not trying to walk with God, that have no reverence for God or understanding of who He is and what He can do. People that just live all willy-nilly, they are very difficult to deal with. But the Lord has called us to be humble while dealing with them because they are still our neighbor. We're still supposed to love them. We're still supposed to be patient with them, be graceful with them. We are supposed to take our time in communication with people. We are supposed to take our time when people are moving a little slow, more slow than we would like them to be moved. Maybe that's our reminder to slow down ourselves when we're dealing with that. Why are we in a rush? What's the rush? We are on divine timing, and we are always in the right place at the right time. So I think it's a reminder that we need to just take a step back and breathe and remember that God made no mistakes. So if something is taking long, be patient. You don't presume that you know more than God, and God made no mistakes. So if something's taking longer than you expect it to take, maybe there's a reason for that. Be patient. If somebody is taking a very long time to say something that could have took them 3 words, I struggle with this immensely. I cannot stand when people say a million words when they could have said a couple words. But I think it's a reminder to me to let people express themselves. Let them get their thoughts out. Do not rush their process. I'm definitely getting better with that, but it is a reminder to myself as well. All right, let's move to the next points. Being humble is about choosing a quiet strength over trying to prove yourself. Like, have you ever been in a conversation or argument or a debate with somebody and they just think they are oh so right, and you know they're wrong? So you're trying to make them see the error of their ways. You're trying to make them see it from your point of view. You are trying to really push your agenda. Being humble is about not trying to prove yourself. Let people have their cake and eat it too. Because why would you want a cake you can't eat? But I've definitely gotten a lot better. Like, I've learned this lesson through lots of difficult conversations. And what I've really learned is I don't need to prove my point. Especially if I know something and I know I'm right, I will tell you one time the correct thing. And if you start doing all that yapping, or you're trying to debate with me on something I know to be a fact, you got it, bro. You got it. I humble myself and let them get their think piece off. I let them talk, I let them yap, and then I do not try to push my agenda. I already told you. I told you once, I'm not gonna tell you twice. Unless you ask. If you ask, now I can humble myself and open that conversation. I'm not gonna shut you out if you're seeking something, but it definitely takes being humble and having that inner strength to just let people yap when you know they are spewing foolishness. Let them have that. Let them have that and humble yourself. You don't have to be right. You don't have to prove that you are right in their eyes. Go ahead and let that go. All right, next one. This kind of goes hand in hand with that. Humble yourself enough to know that you don't have to take care of everything. Trust that the Lord is going to take care of what needs to be taken care of. And you can rest in peace without having like the answer of what is going on. I feel like I'm crooked. Yeah, I don't know. That might have made it worse. Whatever. Anyway, let the Lord fight your battles. Let him get the last word. You don't have to get the last word. Rest in your peace knowing my Father's going to take care of this. I really don't have to shed too much peace trying to make you see the error of your ways or why you did something I shouldn't have to explain to you. Like, no. Let God handle it. Release it. Humble yourself enough to know that you don't have to be the end all be all. There is someone much greater than you whose hand is all up over it. He's got it. Trust that he has it. All right, moving on. Another way to humble yourself, be the first to say sorry. Be the first to end a disagreement. Be a first to try to reach a resolution. Be the first to establish peace or to open the invitation for peace. My last video talks a lot about this, so we won't go too in depth on it, but humble yourself enough to just apologize for the sake of peace, for the sake of the relationship, especially if it's not that deep. If they were in the wrong completely, solely, remember, I'm talking to myself. So I'm really trying to put myself in the shoes of someone who is like, if I'm trying to think, if I had a situation with someone and they did something wrong and they were completely in the wrong and I care about that relationship, I think how I would approach it is by just kind of bringing it up to them and telling them how I felt about the situation. And I would humble myself enough to say, not that I'm wrong, but I would humble myself enough to go to them first and say, hey, I value you so much that I don't want that disagreement to go on longer than it needs to. Like, I would like us to just talk about this so we can move on. That's how I would handle that situation. But if I'm not wrong, I'm definitely not apologizing about something I'm not wrong about. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Another way to humble ourselves is to serve others. We are actually called to be of service. That is one of our main purposes of being here, to help each other. You cannot be all for yourself. You can't be selfish like that. And trust me, I have lived a very selfish life. I was all about me, all for me. It wasn't really until recently, actually. Let me not even say the last couple of years. Like, the last couple of years, I've been growing more into it. I've been molding. I've been transitioning. But it was actually this week I really learned how paramount it is for us to be of service. Like, that is what we are called to do. Serve others, be of service. And what I've learned is you will never be fulfilled until you are serving other people. because that is our purpose. You'll always feel a void if you're not serving other people. If you only serve yourself, you're going to feel that emptiness. You're going to feel that void. You can have all the money in the world. You can have all of the empty connections in the world, and you're still going to feel that void if you are not of service to other people. And service can look like a variety of things, is what I also just learned, which was very freeing. Service can look like serving someone a compliment, serving someone a smile, serving somebody kind advice, serving someone the truth, despite it being a difficult thing to do, a hard truth. Those are hard conversations to have because people are really not receptive to truth, but it's very kind to tell somebody the truth, okay? So being of service in so many different ways, it doesn't necessarily have to be a laborious, is that the word? Is that a word? I think so. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be like something that is physically exhausting for you to serve. No one's saying go help someone move. I mean, you should if you can. But like, it doesn't always have to be something so labor intensive. Service can look like smiling at a stranger where most people are looking down at their phone, ignoring the existence of the person right next to them. Service can look like showing interest into someone's life or showing interest into their emotional state if you see they look a little distressed or they look a little down. Or service is paying attention to the world around you so that you do notice those energetic switches in people and you show interest and support and actual care for another being outside of yourself. Service is getting an animal. Service is getting an animal and nurturing something that can do absolutely nothing for you. Kind of like babies. Nurturing something that can't do anything for you. They bring us joy and they bring us that feeling of knowing we are doing something for someone outside of ourselves. Like, that's a sacrificial love that no other thing in this world can really fill. Yeah. I spend a lot of time on that one. That one's important. And I just learned it, which is why it's so like heavy on my heart. And then kind of going along with that, another way to humble yourself is to do all of these things, serve all of these people in all of these ways without seeking credit for it. That's a big one. That's a big one that comes from being humble. What good is it to do good just to promote and boast about what good you did? That's honestly always been so off-putting to me. I cannot stand when people do that. Like, I don't really listen to Drake anymore. I can't tell you the last Drake song I listened to, but he was very big when I was in college. And he has a song called God's Plan. And I remember watching that video and watching him just throw money at everyone and everything. And I was just disgusted. I was so disgusted by the video because I'm like, if you're truly doing a good deed, why are you boasting about it? Why are you putting it on the big screen? Why do we all need to know about this good deed you did? That's not humble. That's really not humble at all. That's look at me, look what I did, look how I supplied. Like humble yourself. Being humble is the complete opposite of that video. Being humble is going to a grocery store, seeing a homeless person on the street that could do absolutely nothing for you, and instead of waiting for them to come to you and beg for money, go to them. Ask them, hey, do you want something to eat from the inside of the store? Can I get you anything? And then you go in the store, you actually get what they asked for, you come out of the store, you hand it to them, you say, I hope you have a great day, give them some words of encouragement or something. Shoot, maybe have a conversation with them. Ask them their name. Speak to them like they're your equal, because they are. And then go about your day and don't tell anyone what you just did. That's humble. That's a very detailed example of what being humble could look like. Acts of service without seeking credit, because the only person that needs to know you did that is the Lord, and he saw you. Okay, another way of being humble, be teachable. People get to this age where they think they know everything. Adults are so hard to teach because they like to think they know everything, like they're above teaching. And it's honestly disgusting. I cannot stand a know-it-all adult. Like, we should be learning until our final day. There is so much information in this world. You can't possibly know everything. And if you do become the master in one subject, it looks like you need to find something else to learn. You need to find something else to help grow your mind, expand your mind, because there's so much to learn. Remain teachable and keep seeking knowledge in different areas. And I definitely think learning new things helps keep you humble, because there's nothing more humble than asking a question, depending on someone to provide information you would not know if they didn't tell it to you. That is humble. Sorry, I'll be back. I was getting a call, but we're almost done. We're almost wrapping it up. Another way to be humble is to just walk in gratitude. Be grateful. Everything in this life is a gift, and I will have another video coming out about that. That is another lesson, but gratitude is such a pure form of being humble. The Lord has given us so much. The fact that you're able to watch this video is a blessing. Not because I'm delivering it to you, that's a blessing for me. I'm blessed that you are watching my video. I'm blessed if you comment on this video. I'm blessed if you come back again. I'm grateful for that. But when I'm saying it's a blessing for you and you should be grateful that you're watching this video, because that means you have Wi-Fi, or you have data, you have electricity, you have a phone, iPhone, iPad, tablet, TV, you have electricity. Chances are you're watching this from your bed, you're watching it from your car, like you're listening to it in your car, you're watching it with a friend, you have a connection. Everything in life is a blessing. Everything is a gift. When you go to work, despite the fact if you hate that job, that is what the Lord is using to provide for you at this moment. That's a blessing. Your family is getting all over your nerves. Be grateful that you have family to talk to. There are so many people that do not have family. And above all else, if life just feels like utter chaos, be grateful that you're not homeless. And if you are homeless, be grateful that you're alive. There's always something to be grateful for. There are always blessings surrounding us. So humble yourself enough to know how much of a blessing life is for you, because it could always be worse. And that's not to discredit anything you are going through, but it is to remind you that we are blessed ultimately and we should be grateful. I want to end this video talking about something else. Another way to be humble. I don't think there's anything more humbling for me than what I experienced today. So I'm on the phone with my little sister today. My little sister and I are catching up because we haven't spoken over a week. We normally talk a lot, but I think we was both just living life super hard. We haven't had a chance to catch up. So today we're catching up. We're on the phone. We're on the phone catching up, and then my boyfriend called me. My boyfriend called me and I tell her, oh, he just called. I'm going to call him back. She's like, add him into the call. Okay. First time we ever did that, but okay. I add him into the call. Everyone is akiki and we're having fun. This is the first time we've ever been on the phone. But then they're having these moments where they're talking about me and my shortcomings. Hold up, hold the phone. Why are we doing that? That's my first emotion or reaction. Why is this what we're doing on this phone? Why are we talking about my shortcomings? In like a joking manner. It was nothing really that deep. But because my control issues would want me to be portrayed a certain way in the eyes of my boyfriend, in the eyes of my sister, I'm just really not liking what's going on. These are two separate worlds. Y'all will never meet again if y'all keep acting like this, okay? Me trying to control that was not me being humble. I had to humble myself to just let it play out. They're gonna meet at some point. They're gonna have those talks. We're gonna be in the same room. They're both gonna see different parts of me, but that's a new process for me. So it was really affecting my control issues to kind of see it playing out. I had to humble myself and just let that play out. I got quiet. I just let it be. I started doing dishes. I had to dissociate. And then I tell my sister, I'm letting her know, like, hey, I'm about to actually relaunch my YouTube channel. My sister knows I used to vlog very much. My boyfriend is aware I used to vlog. he has no clue what the vlogs entail, right? So he has no clue what the vlogs entail. So my sister lets my YouTube name slip out of her lips. I haven't told him anything about my YouTube. He has no clue what it was called. I barely talk about it to him. I just let him know I was making YouTube videos. And he asked me a few questions. I was very vague. I didn't really tell him anything because I don't want to tell him anything about it. I feel like if he wants to know what I'm doing on YouTube, he should tune in. So he's never seen my vlogs, but me and my sister have a moment on that call where we're talking about my YouTube channel because I brought up that I'm about to relaunch it. And she lets it slip what the name is, and he was hyped because now he wants to look at it. And I said on the call to my sister, I said, I recently watched my vlog. I said, I'm making new YouTube videos that I'm going to relaunch, which caused me to look at one of my vlogs because I don't watch my vlogs. I haven't watched them in years. I watched my vlog. I'm disgusted. I said my mouth was filthy. My mouth was filthy. I really don't like how I'm portraying myself. And I had the nerve to put this on YouTube. Oh my gosh. I regret it. I do regret it at this point because that's not the image I want to portray. And that is the moment the Lord revealed to me I needed to humble myself. Because for someone to see what my videos used to be and now they see the direction I'm in, it's going to be very powerful for somebody to see that transformation and know that it's possible. No matter where you are, you can always rebrand yourself. You can be new. You can do something different. You don't have to be the same way you've always been. So I will be leaving all of my vlogs up on this channel, much to my dismay, but that's a service to the Lord. I'm humbling myself and I'm releasing control because that's not the image I want to portray. Like those vlogs, what I have on there, not my proudest moment, not my finest moment. If it was up to the flesh, I would delete them and relaunch this channel with just my lessons. But I think it is very important for my testimony and to give encouragement to somebody else that you can look one way and you can turn things around. It's a very crucial part of my story, which is why I'm leaving it up for other people to see. But I want y'all to know, I would like to delete them. I do not want y'all to see them. But go see the transformation, But like I said, I had to release control and humble myself because if I were to delete that, now I'm trying to do my will instead of the Lord's will. The Lord's gonna use that for somebody and something. So I need to let it be. I need to humble myself and just let things play out. And that's that on that. And I think now would be a good time to talk about what Bible verse supports what I'm saying. This was a long one today. We are in Philippians chapter 2, verse 5. Adopt the same attitude as that of Christ Jesus, who, existing in the form of God, did not consider equality with God as something to be held on to. Instead, he emptied himself by assuming the form of a servant, taking on the likeness of humanity, and when he had come as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even to death on the cross. For this reason, God exalted him and gave him the name that is above every name, so that at the name of Jesus, every knee will bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. If Jesus can humble himself, if the Lord can humble himself, what makes you think you can't humble yourself? What makes me think I can't humble myself? This is a completely different chapter, but there's a chapter where Jesus was washing people's feet. If Jesus can wash someone's feet, why can't you hold the door open for somebody? Why can't you say please and thank you? We need to humble ourselves. And I say we because as much as I'm talking to y'all, I am talking to myself. And I am in all of these videos. All of these lessons are things I've learned that I need to keep remembering, that I need to be doing. And I'm just sharing the knowledge I've learned. But we are called to humble ourselves because we are above no one. Jesus is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the name higher than every other name. And if he can humble himself, you can too. And so can I. I'm not out of the equation. right? Thank you so much for joining me. OMG, you know I have something to promote. We'll do quick because this video is quite long, but if you tuned into the other videos, you already know what I'm about to do. I have to show you my 2026 calendar. You can find it on Etsy if you're interested in borrowing it, just to show you a couple pages. I have a picture that I took myself of the Lord's great work on every page, and I have a Proverbs verse, affirmations, and reflection questions to help guide your year in 2026, to help you get closer to the Lord and closer to yourself. This is a self-improvement, motivational, growing with the Lord type of calendar. Yeah, the Lord gave me the idea to make a calendar. I made a calendar. It is available for purchase on Etsy, and you can find the link in my description below. I do hope you give me a chance. At the time of this video, I have 4 sales. I am a new Etsy seller. Nobody trusts me, but I promise you can trust me. Go get your 2026 calendar. Let me show you one more. Oh, August. August is my birthday month. It's beautiful that this opened up. But this is what it looks like close up. Like I said, there's a Proverbs verse on every month, affirmations related to the Proverbs verse, and a reflection question. And this is targeted towards those that want to do some self-improvement and also help guide their spiritual walk with the Lord. Like always, like I said, as much as I'm talking to y'all, I am talking to myself. I really hope you appreciate this lesson, and I hope you come back tomorrow for tomorrow's lesson. Good night.